Hey, Dr. Jon Finn here. Welcome to the Habit Mechanic podcast. Right now, you can get my new best-selling book, Train Your Brain for the AI Revolution, at tougherminds.co.uk. The digital book, audiobook, and physical book are all available at a special price that you won't find anywhere else.
If you want to fulfill your potential or help other people fulfill their potential so you can feel great and get the rewards and respect you deserve, then I want to give you a free physical copy of my new best-selling book because you deserve to know the truth. The most important things for fulfilling your potential are not tips, tricks, hacks, therapy, coaching, meditation, breathwork, goal setting, journaling, or finding your why. I know it sounds irrational because we're so used to hearing about using these things to help us fulfill our potential. But these approaches are outdated and ineffective, and they are based on a big lie.
To find out more and get your free physical copy of Dr. Jon Finn's best-selling book, The Habit Mechanic, go to tougherminds.co.uk.
Hello, Habit Mechanics. It's Dr. Jon Finn here. I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. Welcome to a shorter episode of the Habit Mechanic podcast. Remember, you can listen to live episodes of the Habit Mechanic podcast inside the Habit Mechanic University app, where you can ask us questions live and we will answer you during the live streamed podcast. Inside the app, you can also access your Habit Mechanic toolkit. You can also watch our live masterclasses and join our live Change Challenge coaching sessions. You can download the app for free.
I'm joined today as ever by my friend and colleague Andrew Whitelam. Andrew, how are you doing?
Yeah, hi there, John. Great to be with you again on this session, and looking forward to today's podcast because we're going to discuss something that I think will be very popular here in the UK in the coming weeks, and very well known. And also, I think it's a great opportunity to demonstrate a really practical, tangible application of the habit mechanic approach, which is so powerful. And hopefully we're going to help people to support a really, really important charity too. I'll just continue, John, if I may. It's Cancer Research UK's 100 push-ups a day in November challenge. You can find out more information at cancerresearchuk.org. And it's a challenge. It's a fitness challenge. It's an exercise challenge. They're challenging people to complete 100 push-ups a day in the month of November to help fund breakthroughs in cancer research. And you can sign up on their website, receive a digital fundraising pack so you can raise money yourself. And you get a free T-shirt as well. And they'll help you set up an online giving page. So it's a really important charity, of course, one of the UK's best known, also a really valuable endeavour. I'm sure I may try it myself. But of course, John, trying a physical challenge, trying to, accomplish what's sounds like a pretty challenging physical goal is not going to be easy. And cancer research saying, you'll need motivation, and they're pointing people towards their Facebook group, etc. But I just thought it was a fantastic opportunity to explain how we can build helpful habits in small steps, and how we can accomplish things just by starting, as I say, something small. So, and I also know that from previous episodes, you speak about increasing your physical exercise for the brain benefits, for the benefits of how it's going to help our diet, exercise, and sleep holistically. But you also talk about increasing your exercise levels in small steps too. So I thought this was a fantastic opportunity for us to drill down into this. I mean, what are your initial thoughts, John? How can we go about getting into a situation where we can complete 100 push-ups a day for a month?
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic initiative, and I can see that it would be attractive and interesting for people, but the challenge will be doing the 100 press-ups per day. As someone who does press-ups and sit-ups, or even 100 per day, every day of the month is it's going to take some persistence and determination. So yeah, I think it would be useful to put the 9 action factors framework around this, and just to talk first of all about doing press-ups, push-ups as a habit. So when would you know that doing 100 let's say push-ups, let's use the American vernacular, 100 push-ups is a habit? I would say when it's easier to do it than not is the key to understand that. So you may be thinking, I can't be bothered doing my 100 push-ups today, but you just find yourself, you get down and you do them. So we often talk about psychological habits like managing stress better, etc. But I think it's always easier to explain habit building and habit maintenance with a physical habit, and push-ups are a great one. So the 9 action factors, if you're thinking, what do I mean by that, are the behavioral science factors that are driving our behavior, and they're influencing it all. They are influencing us all the time, and your ability to successfully complete a challenge like this, or inability to do it, is driven by the 9 factors, because they're driving everything that we think and do. So I think if we unpack the 9 factors and point them towards being successful in this challenge, that might be helpful. So the first factor is the tiny factor. We can make change, but only one small change at a time. So if you want to do 100 push-ups per day, that's quite a lot for most people. So what I would recommend is you break it down into small chunks. So you could do 5 at a time, you could do 10 at a time, and you just plan them throughout the course of the day. And that's going to be much easier to get your 100 done, but also to maintain the activity. Because what's going to happen for a lot of people is that they do the 100 for the first few days, and it's quite painful and difficult. So then they end up skipping a day, and then it just kind of all goes to pot. So that would be the first way that I would think about it, is just try to do little chunks. So break down 100 into small little steps. Thoughts, reflections on that one, Andrew, before we move on?
Yeah, I think I know you've spoken about this approach before, and it sounds well. I've tried it myself. It's completely effective, and it makes the accomplishment you're trying to achieve less threatening, I would say. I know you use that word as well, John, threatening, and I think that is something where you think, yeah, I can do that. Whereas if somebody said, got to run a marathon tomorrow, or you got to do 100 press-ups tomorrow, you probably tell yourself, because of the way our brains work, I can't do that.
Yeah, so expending a lot of energy, which you will do if you're going to do 100 press-ups, without an immediate reward is threatening for your brain, because for most of our existence, energy has been a scarce resource, and our brain is wired to conserve it. So when we think of threats, we think of lions, tigers, and bears, but actually not having any food is also, well, it's probably the most important threat to our brain. So yeah, that language is absolutely correct, and the limbic regions of the brain will be resisting expending any energy that isn't given as a fast reward. So that's the first thing I think about, and I would add on to that I believe this challenge starts on the 1st of November. Is that right, Andrew?
Yeah, it's in the challenge is in November, but from just looking at the Cancer Research UK website, they're providing information and guidance and encouragement right now, and obviously they're giving people a bit of a run up to this and a build up to it throughout October. The challenge itself is November, as you rightly say, John, but I guess it's helpful to have a time to build up to it.
Yeah, and I would recommend people do that physically as well. So I just start doing 10 press-ups a day, maybe do them in 5 bouts of 2, and then build up to 20, so that by the time you get to the 1st of November, you've already laid down some of these neurological connections in your brain, and it's easier to do it. So that's factor number 1, the tiny factor. which hopefully people understand how that can be applied to the 100 press-up challenge. Factor number 2 is personal motivation. So I know that Cancer Research UK use that language, motivation. I would call what they're talking about social influence, but I'll come back onto that. It's going to be really helpful to know why you want to do this. In chapter 16 of the Habit Mechanic, we have the FAM story tool. So being able to connect back or connect this 100 push-up a day challenge to your bigger, meaningful future goals. So you can incorporate this into your FAM story. You know, it might be that you just want to do good in the world. You want to give something back. It might also be that you'd like to get in better physical shape. But if you can connect doing the 100 push-ups per day to bigger, meaningful goals, and the FAM story in the book or in the app, we can work with the motivation coach, is perfect for doing that. The next one, well, is there anything you want to cover on that one?
Well, I think you make excellent points, John. I guess as well, as you hinted to and alluded to, people may well have had their lives affected by cancer themselves, or but with their relatives and relations or friends even, and a motivating factor might be, I guess, that you want to help ensure things like that don't happen to other people. So yeah, the personal motivation is very clear in the way you've explained it, John.
Yeah. So the next one is personal knowledge and skills. So some people who want to do the challenge may have lots of neurons in their brain for doing push-ups. That means they've done them before, they know how to do it, they know what it looks like. Some men have never done it. They may have seen someone else do it. I honestly explicitly remember being in the Cubs and some older guy being told to show us how to do push-ups properly, which I just thought was interesting because I'd done push-ups before, but apparently there's a better way to do it. So some people may need some knowledge and skills to do this, others not. The knowledge and skills everyone's going to need is learning how to build better habits. So you're getting some of that knowledge and skills in this podcast. You could go further by reading chapter 18 of the Habit Mechanic book and reading chapter 20, where you can see how to create a habit building plan, which allows you to activate all these factors. You can also work with the habit building coach in the app. So knowledge and skills, and connected to that, another factor, the fourth factor, is community knowledge and skills. So people around us knowing how to do that. So because you're in the Habit Mechanic community, you're learning some new knowledge and some new skills about how to build new habits in relation to this 100-day challenge. The community group that is mentioned is also having that functionality as well. If you're not sure how to do a push-up, but your partner knows how to do one, then they could show you. So, for some people, knowledge and skills for the actual push-up they've already got. But I'd say for everybody, they're going to need more knowledge and skills about how to sustain this habit over the month. And hopefully the insights we're sharing in this pod are helpful.
Yeah, chapter 20, as you say, is the place to go for habit building insight, unrivaled, in our opinion, John, of course. And as you allude to, again, Cancer Research are providing. I've actually taken the trouble just to have a look at the website, and they're providing guidance, information, details on how to progress in a physical exercise sense, how to progress your push-ups. So there's the community knowledge and skills very clearly. So it's clear to see.
Yeah, so we've got make tiny changes. We've got personal motivation. You can use the FAM story to help you with that. We've got personal knowledge and skills. We've got community knowledge and skills. Next, social influence. So we know that having people around us that are supporting new behaviors and habits, that are maybe also even modeling new behaviors and habits, is helpful. So that's why we have our app and we have our community and everyday people supporting each other on their habit mechanic journeys. Sounds like the group that Cancer Research UK have got for that would be helpful. I'm sure there'll be a couple of high profile people doing push-ups as well, what we now call influencers, etc. So that seems like, I think just the more you can get people immediately around you buying into this challenge, the more you're going to be able to activate that social influence factor. And I'm sure that people like workplaces and things will be buying into this. And that, I suppose that's a central it's a central component of this challenge, is that it's a participation challenge and that people can participate together. So it's doing a good job in terms of activating that factor. If you want to fulfill your potential or help other people fulfill their potential so you can feel great and get the rewards and respect you deserve, then I want to give you a free physical copy of my new best-selling book, Because You Deserve to Know the Truth. The most important things for fulfilling your potential are not tips, tricks, hacks, therapy, coaching, meditation, breathwork, goal setting, journaling, or finding your why. I know it sounds irrational because we're so used to hearing about using these things to help us fulfill our potential. But these approaches are outdated and ineffective, and they are based on a big lie.
To find out more and get your free physical copy of Dr. Jon Finn's best-selling book, The Habit Mechanic, go to tougherminds.co.uk.
Sorry, John. Yeah, I'm just going to say as well, in terms of social influence, I suppose, would we say that a societal sort of prevailing view in society that giving to charity, supporting charity, and then, you know, less calculating, in a way that we all know it's important that we fight this disease, which is one of our society's biggest killers?
Yeah, I would see that connecting more to the personal motivation piece and to the rewards and penalty piece. Our belief systems about what's important. If you believe that that is important, then it can be a very powerful goal and a very powerful reward system that makes you feel good. It's an intrinsic reward system. So yeah, that's absolutely relevant.
Yeah. So, well, let's talk about rewards and penalties then, John. That's the next one of the factors to consider, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. So reward and penalty systems are complex in one moment, but they're quite simple in another. Everything that we're doing is driven by reward and penalty systems. We address this. So we've got the trait habit loop, which is our proprietary habit loop. TRAIT is an acronym. It stands for trigger, routine, ape incentive, and training. And the reward and penalty system is activating the ape incentive piece. If something's rewarding for the ape brain, which is sometimes quite unintuitive, because beating ourselves up can be rewarding for the ape brain. Giving up can be rewarding for the ape brain, because beating ourselves up is making us aware of a social status threat. Giving up saves energy. So there are some unintuitive or counterintuitive reward and penalty systems that are driving our behavior. But understanding that we need to get that factor working for us is really important. And we can think of rewards and penalties across three core areas. One is intrinsic. When I do this, it makes me feel better. One is extrinsic. When I do this, I get some reward for it. And three is social. When I do this, my social status gets increased. And the reward systems for extrinsic and social status increase are really well wired into this challenge, because I can raise some money And if I keep persisting with a challenge, I'll get this sponsorship money, which I can then give to a good cause, which then increases my social status. And that will make me feel good as well. So this challenge is activating all three of them, but I think to a lesser extent the intrinsic, because you've got to get down on the ground, you've got to do those push-ups, and that's not always going to feel good. It's not like eating a donut. If it was the eat 3 donuts a day challenge, then that factor is activated even better. But there is a bit of this physical effort. Your ape brain is going to resist doing it, your horribly unhelpful emotions. But how do we tackle that? Well, we can bring in some elements of gamification. We really unpacked reward and penalty systems in chapter 18. But one of the things we can do is we could build it into a daily T plan. So we could say, my goal today is to do my 100 press-ups. Why? It's going to make me feel better. So we're making that written commitment to it. We could put it into our weekly goals, either in the app or physically. Every time we do complete the 100 press-ups, we can give ourselves a tick. So just adding these small elements of gamification, and we could do that throughout the course of the day. Every time we do 5, I actually do that in my phone. I note down how many. So I've got a core exercise goal for the week. And every day I note down how many I've got, and I can see myself making progress towards the goal. So we can create some reward and penalty systems by writing down some goals, and we can see that reward and penalty systems and personal motivation systems interact with each other. And we can make those social as well. So bringing the social influence element, which is sharing your successes with other people. So there are some very practical things we can do to activate the reward and penalty system here. What's the penalty if you don't do 100 press-ups? Create one. Create a negative reinforcement.
Well, I think cancer research actually have in a very well motivated way, set a minimum sponsorship goal. This is obviously about people generating sponsorship money from their friends and communities. And they whilst they think, I'm pretty sure they point out there is no minimum donation or minimum effort, they do set a reasonable level. So I guess that is what you're referring to.
Well, that's an example. Yeah, it's an example of that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, fantastic. Well, and yeah, well, hopefully we do wish everyone well who's embarking on this challenge, and please continue listening to this podcast. And Jon will share further insights to help you absolutely succeed and prosper in it. I think we've done 6 of the 9 action factors now, Jon.
Can I just say, Andrew, put in there, because this is a recent development for us. If you are listening to this on Spotify and you're a premium Spotify member, you can actually listen to the Habit Mechanic audiobook as part of your subscription. So the Habit Mechanic audiobook, alongside some of the most successful books in the world, has been put onto the premium package list. The quality's been recognised, and it's available now as part of their premium subscription. So we're referring to chapters here in the book, so you can easily just switch over and start listening to chapter 18 in the book, for example. And it will take a much deeper dive into some of these things we're talking about. Equally, you can go into the app and work with the habit building coach.
Yeah, and chapter 20 as well, I think you mentioned, Jon, which sets out the 9 action factors in this way that we're talking about. And we can people will be able to listen via Spotify as well. So that's a free resource there for anyone who is a subscriber to Spotify to help them complete this challenge. Thanks for that. That's really brilliant news, actually. But I think we have another 3 factors to discuss, Jon: external triggers, brain state, and mindset. If we could just take those in order, external triggers.
Yeah, so we do what we get reminded to do, and which sounds maybe really obvious, but it doesn't appear to be to us normal people all that obvious. Supermarkets get this. tech giants get this because they're triggering us all the time to do what they want us to do. Supermarkets stick all the high fat, high sugar, brain friendly food on the end of supermarket aisles, and they put buy one get one free offers on it very deliberately. But we're run by our environment, so we need to create some triggers to remind us to do, if we want to do 100 press-ups a day, to remind us to do that. So the little plan that I talked about previously would be a way to do that. Stick it on the fridge, make it a social trigger, tick off, hold yourself accountable. You could use the app, our app, Habit Mechanic University app, as a trigger to share your progress every day and report how many push-ups you've done, etc. So yeah, we can use physical triggers. We can use digital triggers. You might get a physical copy of the Habit Mechanic book, stick it on your desk, put a bookmark in chapter 18 and chapter 20 to remind yourself about what you're trying to do. Put a bookmark in chapter 16 as well, so you can keep revisiting and updating that fam story. So yeah, we're driven by triggers, and we can manipulate the triggers to make them work for us instead of against us.
Yeah, fantastic. And no doubt Cancer Research will be communicating with people as well who sign up for the challenge, which would be a trigger also. The other factor, the next two factors and final two factors, the next one we would like to discuss, brain state. Explain that to us, John.
Yeah, so brain state is connected to a concept we call activation, which we unpack in chapter 21 of the book. It's about your physical and mental alertness levels. So if you try to do your push-ups when you're sleep deprived, it's going to be much harder to do it because your brain's going to resist putting the energy in. If you do the push-ups at your best time of day, where you feel good, you feel sharp, you feel energized, it's going to be much easier to do the push-ups. So it's recognizing that our brain states change. We have a recharged brain state, a medium charged brain state, a high charged brain state. This is high charged brain state work if you're not used to doing 100 push-ups per day. And of course, the whole point of our program is to help people to unlock their 25-hour brain so they can do more high charge stuff every day, both for personal development, but also at work, do more mentally challenging work. So if people want to do this challenge, you're going to have to access their high charge brain, which means good sleep, good diet, proactively managing your activation. So if you go into chapter 21 of the book, you can see the optimal activation review. You can just kind of map out your activation. So the brain states is key. When are you going to do this? What time of day are you going to do it? And planning that out. So again, creating triggers for yourself. You could use the willpower story tool to timeline these push-ups into your day. So I'm going to do 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, that kind of thing. And going back to external triggers, actually, you can couple one trigger with another. So you could say, every time I make a cup of coffee, I'm going to do 10 push-ups. So every time I come back in the house after being out, I'll do 10 push-ups. So coupling behaviors together. The thing to also consider in the brain activation is physical activation, and you want to make sure that you're warming up before you do these push-ups. Otherwise, and you stretch as well. You keep stretching, you keep the mobility in the shoulder joints good. Otherwise, you're going to end up with really tense, stiff shoulder joints, which you're potentially going to damage at some point. So, as well as optimizing brain states, we optimize body states as well, so that we've got the best chance of staying healthy throughout the course of the challenge.
Okay, well, fantastic. Thanks for that guidance too, John. The final of the 9 action factors is then the mindset. I know we sometimes start the 9 action factors list, or I've seen you start the 9 action factors list with mindset, but we've left it to last this time. Talk to us about mindset, please.
Yeah, so if we don't believe we can do this, we're never going to be able to do it. So we talk about habit mechanic mindset. which is on one end of a continuum, where I believe I can change. I recognize neuroplasticity, that my brain is, it's almost like plasticine and it can be reshaped and remolded, because that's how brains work. But often we've been conditioned to be on the other end of the continuum, which is to believe that we can't change, that we can't do it, that I'll never be able to do 100 push-ups. I can barely do one, or I've never even done them before. And I'm just not good at push-ups. It's just not what I do. I'll do something else instead. So we've got to prime that mindset, that habit mechanic mindset, that we can change, that we can learn to do things differently, that we can build new habits. We're all building new habits all the time, whether we like it or not. It's just often they're really unhelpful for us, and they're happening silently and invisibly. So yeah, that the mindset factor is key, and hopefully listening to the pod today and all habit mechanics, and I kind of appreciate this, is that we can change, we can learn, we can grow.
Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing that insight. I'm sure if anyone is considering embarking on the Cancer Research UK 100 push-ups in November challenge, then I think they will have so much valuable insight to help them accomplish that. And thanks once again, Jon. All the best to anyone who's contemplating taking the challenge. Anything you'd like to say in closing?
Well, thanks for listening, and I hope this has been helpful. You can absolutely build this habit, and just got to approach it with the habit mechanic mindset. There's a set of rules that are going to govern your ability to do this or not, and we just map them out for you. So if you're struggling, go back to the rules and work out where's the blockage. Or I'm trying to do 100 at a time, make it smaller. Or I just don't feel like doing it today. Well, have you created your external triggers? Have you broken the goal down? Have you created somewhere to record it? Are you part of a group of people doing this? So you can use all these factors to make it easier for you to, do something really, really good. If you want to fulfill your potential or help other people fulfill their potential so you can feel great and get the rewards and respect you deserve, then I want to give you a free physical copy of my new best-selling book, Because You Deserve to Know the Truth. The most important things for fulfilling your potential are not tips, tricks, hacks, therapy, coaching, meditation, breathwork, goal setting, journaling, or finding your why. I know it sounds irrational because we're so used to hearing about using these things to help us fulfill our potential. But these approaches are outdated and ineffective, and they are based on a big lie.
To find out more and get your free physical copy of Dr. Jon Finn's best-selling book, The Habit Mechanic, go to tougherminds.co.uk.
Thanks for listening to the Habit Mechanic podcast. If you liked it, please subscribe and tell someone else about one of the ideas or insights that you found most interesting.